Hello, friends. Hi, it's Bill Free, and I want to welcome you back to part two of the video blog that I did last week on the three workbook lessons that we looked at that really I feel are they're a portal that bring us into a direct experience of our being, of pure presence of the I am that I am experience. And I love these workbook lessons because they're just a few lessons that do this. There are many in the course and also in non-duality in the direct experience of being aware of being aware. And I just invite you to join with me right now. Just take a deep breath in and just allow presence, the aware presence, to come forth and being aware of this experience without labels or giving specific attention to any one thing that's being uh, noticed with the body's eyes. And just join me in this awareness, this aware presence. And last week we looked at part one that had two workbook lessons in it. The first workbook lesson was 125. In quiet, I receive God's word today. And that's just really just the pausing. Just be still. Peace, be still is sort of uh, it's a declaration to the mind instructed from the being. Peace, be still. We have dominion over the mind, the body mind, the izzy bitty, what's it called, the nitty gritty or the itty bitty shitty committee. We have dominion over that committee that's in the mind, and we can simply say, peace, be still. And in quiet, I receive God's word today is another way. It's a workbook lesson that sort of brings you into that presence of awareness. It brings you into that experience of being quiet. Because it's in the quiet, it's in the pause, it's in the noticing of awareness, being aware of being aware that we um, we we go within. It's the withinness that is now expressing as presence. And the second workbook lesson that we looked at last week was I will step back and let him lead the way. And we took the pronouns out, and the I is the illusion will step back, the personal self will step back and let presence lead the way. And we opened that up to the experience of gazing, just gazing in a general way of all, with the body's eyes open, with all objects of experience, and including sounds that the ears hear, and any sensations that are in the body are noticed, and we're aware of them, but we're just generally staying, just putting a little bit of space between the subject, which is the awareness, and the object, which is the object of experience. And so we're established there that I will step back and let not him, but presence lead the way. And this next workbook lesson this week is into his presence would I enter now. And if you're looking at my book, my workbook lesson for it's 157, you'll see that I have a sort of a doorway here, an I on this side and an am over on the other side of the doorway. And this is sort of a portal where we enter into the I am of being, into not now let's take the pronoun out again, take the him off, because presence and being and God, holiness that we talked about last week, is not an entity. It is the essential nature of I am. So into I am presence, into presence would I enter now, is another declaration where the the personal self, the person, is stepping back, and the I am is now being recognized as the truth, as true self of being. And this is also awareness, this aware presence. Remember last week I invited us to close our eyes and just do a short inquiry. Does this awareness have a gender? And we discovered no, this awareness does not have a gender. And does this awareness have an age? And we discovered no, it doesn't have an age. And then we asked, we sort of looked for, does it have a beginning or an ending? Does this awareness have a starting point or an edge? Or is it just is? And we really self-discover right away that this is a direct experience of I am. And even I, or even is too many words, because it just is. And is like this, is the most simple way that we can use a word to describe what is wordless. But into presence would I enter now. We're there. We're experiencing presence, the I am that I am. And I'm just going to gently open the eyes and read a few passages in this workbook lesson. Into his presence would I enter now. Into presence would I enter now. This day is holy, for it ushers in a new experience, a different kind of feeling and awareness. And that's what I am inviting us to share right now in this video. It's ushering in a new experience, a direct experience of presence, of our shared being. This is where presence is the same for the body, what seems to be a person over there, looking at awareness, experiencing presence. It's the same presence. It's the same awareness. It's not separate from each other, because we are one. We are one presence, the presence of awareness. And it talks about, in the second paragraph, it says, it brings us to the door where learning ceases, and we catch a glimpse of what lies past the highest reaches it can possibly attain. It leaves us here an instant, and we go beyond it, sure of our direction and our only goal. Today it will be given you to feel a touch of heaven, though you will return to paths of learning. Now you have come far enough along the way to alter time sufficiently to rise above its laws and walk into eternity a while. So we're walking into eternity a while when we enter now. When we into presence would I enter now, we're shifting from the horizontal plane of time and space. And with these ideas and this understanding, we are actually entering into the eternal. And it says, this you will learn to do increasingly as every lesson faithfully rehearsed brings you more swiftly to this holy door and leaves you for a moment to yourself, your aware presence. And it says, He, and I'll say presence, will direct your practicing today, for what you ask for now is what He wills, or what your self, your higher self presence wills. And having joined your will with His this day, what you are asking must be given you. Nothing is needed but today's idea, into presence would I enter now, to light your mind and let it rest in still anticipation and quiet joy, wherein you quickly leave the world behind. And it closes in the final paragraph of this workbook lesson. So beautiful. It says, into Christ's presence will you enter now, serenely unaware of everything except His shining face and perfect love. And this is your own shining face, beloved, and your own perfect love, because you are the presence that you're entering now. You are the presence of God. You are the holiness of God. And into this presence of being would we enter now. And it says, the vision of His face will stay with you, but there will be an instant which transcends all vision, even this, the holiest. This you will never teach, for you attained it not through learning. Yet the vision speaks of your remembrance of what you knew that instant and will surely know again. And I just want to invite us all to come to this place of presence, of our own holiness. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable, and we'll just abide right here for another minute as we rest in the love and the presence of God, our truth, our I am. We may take a deep breath and have a breath awareness, just being aware of the breath as the awareness of the breath. And this also is the presence of God, the I am that I am. And we have this available all the time. It's always available. It must be acknowledged, to be recognized, and it really helps to come into a quiet space, telling the mind, peace, be still, is helpful, and then resting here in the presence of what you are, of what I am. Pure awareness, quiet presence. When you pause and just breathe, you're aware of the pause, you're aware of the presence, and just sink back into the awareness of this resting experience, this resting awareness. Into this presence would I enter now. And this is our natural state, this aware presence. This is always in the background. And when you open your eyes back up, we're including all of the physical experiences that the body's eyes sees as included in the presence of what I am, the I am that I am. So that concludes our part 2 of this series, this group of workbook lessons. This one is into His presence, into presence would I enter now. And thank you for joining me this week, beloved, and I'll see you next time on one of my teachings, one of the video blogs that might be helpful for your having a direct experience of this content. I bless you, and I love you, and namaste. Bye-bye.